everyone, welcome back to the Plant-Based Theory. Today we are on to part 2 of our Let's Fix Our Kids segment, so listen up. Alright, so first off, this is part 2, so if you haven't watched part 1, you shouldn't be here. Seriously, go back and watch it. So this part 2 is going to focus on the fact that we enable our kids. True story. The truth hurts sometimes, but the truth is we are enablers. Our kids do not run out of our wombs going, I want donuts and I want Skittles. No, if they want those things, it's because we've provided them with those things, and then they get addicted to those things, or they start craving those things, and then they want them more, and then we keep giving them, and you can see what the problem is there. Our kids also don't come out shouting, I want cheese and yogurt, or broccoli and carrots. In fact, they don't come out of the womb wanting anything except our love. So it's a funny way to show our love by giving them foods that in turn destroy them. Which, if you don't know that certain foods destroy them, then hey, that's why you're here, you're learning, hopefully you'll make some good decisions going forward. But if you know that the foods you're giving your child are harmful, why are you doing it? So long story short, we give them their eating habits, we enable those eating habits. So let's talk about what we can do going forward. Take a step to the side. Your kid will, or kids, will determine their taste preferences within the first 2 years of their life usually. So if you're already past that, good luck. No, I'm just kidding. It will be harder because your kids have already determined what kind of foods they like. If they've already eaten, sugary, salty, oily foods, then they're going to want those. There will be tears and some tantrums, but you can do this. Put your big boy or big girl pants on and be that parent that kicks these habits to the curb. Because if your kids are under your roof, you have the right to give them whatever eating habits you want to give them, regardless of whatever eating habits they would like to have. All the kids in the world are hating on me right now. So first question of the day, if your kid came home smoking a cigarette, what would you do? Would you sit there and say, oh, you shouldn't do that, and then let them have it? I hope not. I'm asking because there are foods out there that are carcinogenic and as harmful, if not more harmful, than cigarettes. Yet we don't treat those foods as the enemy, but we would go apeshit if our kid walked in the door with a cigarette in the mouth. All of this enabling starts the problem, and then it never stops. Let's take a refresher. Back in Theory 4, we discussed the only 3 food groups that there ever were, which are whole plant foods, meaning vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, etc. There are minimally processed animal foods, which are like chicken, fish, egg, etc. And then there are processed foods, which is basically anything that wouldn't exist if man didn't make it. What do we see being marketed towards our kids? Is it whole plant foods? Do you see commercials that are like, come on kids, eat your carrots? No. If a commercial came on like that, people would be like, what? No, we see commercials promoting crap, and more crap. But they're cute and they have your kid's favorite little superhero on the side, or they come with a little toy inside it or something. So they're promoted and marketed towards kids because kids will want it, and companies know that parents will buy their kids what they want, and then this enables the process as well. And then we have doctors, and I don't want to generalize here, but the truth is most doctors get itsy bitsy teeny weeny nutrition training. Like hardly any, like maybe 7 hours in their whole training. Are they qualified to give nutrition recommendations? No, not really. Not any more qualified than, someone who watches a few nutrition documentaries on TV. But the problem is they become sponsored or paid by large organizations similar to the pharmaceutical organizations, and they start making recommendations like, hey, if you want your kid to have strong bones, you better give them some dairy milk. False! Or if you are anemic and need more iron, you better eat your red meat. Also false. If your child has a tummy bug, drink up that Pedialyte. Or maybe they're not gaining weight, go grab some Ensure. Do you even know what's in that crap? That crap is full of crap. We've got artificial coloring, artificial flavors, just junk and more junk. Yes, I know there are some doctors out there who know nutrition, so don't take this personally. I'm talking about the majority of doctors, and the truth is they don't have nutrition training. So basically everything we see out there that relates to promotion of food comes from the animal food category or the processed food category. And this is solely because these companies know that they can capitalize on our consumption. And they know that kids will become addicted to these products, and if they make them bright colors and crazy flavors, or make them fizzy or sour or whatever, kids will need every single one, they'll need to try every single one, and we'll eat them for eternity. Only if we give them to them. These products certainly aren't being promoted to us for our health, that's for sure. And so with all of this promotion of these crappy food products, we begin to revolve our lives around food. Case in point, let's go through some of the holidays. Start towards the beginning of the year. Valentine's Day. We're supposed to celebrate our loved ones, not give them diabetes. Yet we hoard the chocolate and call it Valentine's Day. Then there's St. Patrick's Day. Green beer, green eggs, green everything, green shit everywhere. Does that have to do with St. Patrick's Day? No, I mean, we're celebrating the Irish, I understand, but we certainly don't need to just shove a bunch of green crap in our mouths to do that. And then there's Easter, the holiday of Cadbury cream eggs and Peeps. Jesus would be proud. On the 4th of July, we have parades that throw endless amounts of candy to our kids, and then we go home and we cook up some carcinogenic hot dogs on the grill and call it a day. I'm sure that's exactly what our forefathers did when they celebrated our independence. Sign this shit quickly, Bob. We gotta get to the grill and eat us up some cheeseburgers. Oh, Halloween. Where do I begin? Candy corn and screw it. All the candy. Just huge ass bags of candy. This holiday has literally become, see how much candy you can get. I guess one way to remember the dead is to try to join them. And the ironic thing here is we take millions and millions of nutrient-dense, wonderful, whole plant foods, pumpkins, and we destroy them. How bass-ackwards is that? Seriously, do you know how many communities around the world probably look at this holiday and just think we are all effing nuts? We shove as much sugar in our pie holes as we can, and then we go destroy a bunch of good food. Hanukkah has become the celebration of oil. Eat anything with oil in it. Oy vey. I don't make my latkes with oil, I bake them. Don't tell my grandmother. But seriously, there's ways around all of this. There's ways to do these traditions or to celebrate the actual holiday that you should be celebrating without putting crap in your mouth. Then we have Christmas where, we have our eggnog and we eat the candy canes because we wouldn't want Santa to be the only one with a tight belt, would we? And then Happy New Year! Let's start the year right by filling ourselves with alcohol. Woo! But it's okay because we're gonna, suddenly get some resolutions and have a few weeks of being healthy in there, right? Before the whole cycle continues and then we start again. We literally make any excuse we can to shove crap in our mouth and to shove crap in our kids' mouths. Can you see how confusing this must be to our kids? Where we're like, making up all these excuses as to why it's okay to eat junk on certain days, but then we try to tell them it's bad sometimes, or we try to tell them it's okay in moderation. It's not okay. Our kids are getting more and more sick. Our kids are getting more and more obese. Our kids are winding up with heart disease and cancers and diabetes. It's not okay anymore. There has to be a shift at some point where we say, you know what? A, we're gonna find out what these holidays are actually about if we want to celebrate them. And B, if we're gonna celebrate them, we don't have to do it by shoving crap in our mouths. I can guarantee that you can have a good time without putting crap in your mouth, because I do it all the time. And it's okay to say no to your dentist or your hairdresser or whoever is handing a piece of candy to your child to reward them for something that they were going to do anyway. It's okay to say no. It's okay to explain to your child, you know what, I'm gonna, reward you with something else that isn't going to kill you. So start to think of all the foods that you give your kid that you really don't want to give your kid. If you really don't want to give them to your kid, just like you might not want to give them a cigarette, stop giving them to your kid. If they're old enough to have a conversation with you, explain why. If they're not old enough, then just remove it or phase it out, and they will get over it because you're the parent and you are in control. And in order to break this cycle, you're the one that's going to have to do it. There are slim to zero chances that, little 6-year-old Johnny is going to be like, Mom, I think it's about time I stopped having cotton candy and candy corn. Because at the end of the day, why do you give them to your kid? To make them happy in that one little moment? They're not going to be happy when they're struggling to stay awake in class or concentrate on their tests. They're not going to be happy later in life when they suddenly have heart disease or diabetes. And then they're going to do the same thing for their kids, unless we break the cycle. It's that easy. Make a decision, break the cycle, and decide, you know what? I'm not going to give this stuff to my kids anymore, and I'm going to make a plan on how to execute this so that my family doesn't self-destruct. It is entirely possible, but it comes down to the decision that you make to stop enabling your kids from putting crap in their mouths. And if you expect them to stop, then you need to stop. Oh yeah, harsh reality today, folks. But I hope that helps. I hope you learned something. Tell your friends what you learned, and if you are a YouTube subscriber, as always, subscribe, hit the bell. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? You're gonna learn some stuff about nutrition and how to get healthy. See you next time, folks.